Good afternoon, everybody. This is Electrical Essence, and I do want to thank again everybody who does listen. I really do appreciate it. For whatever reasons you're listening for, I don't care. That's really none of my business, unless you want to make it my business. But today I would like to go into part two of actually a couple of different segments that I've already done. I do want to discuss a little bit on the love, and I do want to talk a little bit about your energy. I said be aware of your energy. And I also going to correlate that all back into like with Venus, which I'm so excited to get the part two of the Venus segment out so I can start on my Royalty of the Zodiac project, which, that was going to be really fun. That's going to be really fun because it totally correlates into the Aquarius and Leo axis that we have going on in our planetary alignment. We got the North and South node and Aquarius and Leo, and we've got the Sun in Leo, and I've got a daughter that's a triple Leo. I have a very deep connection and a deep love to Leo, and I don't know. I like to play around with the whole thought of that it's because of the axis, between Aquarius and Leo, and the two assholes of the zodiac, the two snots, the two who thinks that sometimes they are better than everybody else, which other signs do it too, but not at that level of Leo and Aquarius, But there's always a reason for everything, There's a rhyme and the reason that correlates all the stuff together, just like there is a method to my madness. Now, I am just really excited to get some of these things thrown out there, but oh my God, it takes a lot of time when you're like designing and you're a perfectionist, and I've got 3 planets in Virgo, so I am a hardcore perfectionist. So a lot of times I just have to like keep in mind, like, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. So that's something I always have to like tell myself whenever I am working on certain projects, because if I don't, then I'll get halfway through and then be like, fuck it, and just leave it. But a lot of times if it's something very important to me or something that I think is a certain type of a challenge that I need to overcome within myself, like a blockage that I need to break through, which that blockage is, I like to call that blockage my Mars, because I have like really strong Mars in both my Western and Eastern charts. So it's a challenge, and it's like a challenge that I need to overcome. It's something that I have to prove only to myself. So a lot of times with projects, it just depends, if it's garbage project or if it's like one of those that is like deeply correlated into who I am and my own special form of creativity, then then I make myself push. I do. So I'm working on designing a lot of things and getting things together, because I do like to post to my YouTube, like to paint a pretty picture for you, because a lot of times when I say certain things, I always get people that want to like dig into or pick apart what I say, and then they totally take away the meaning of it. And a lot of times the meaning of it is just me talking fucking shit. It's just me I am so fucking sarcastic to the point to where I literally need subtitles when I talk, or pictures, Now for people that know me, that understand me, they know that I'm just, half the shit that comes out of my mouth is a mixture of I'm just kidding, kinda, or it's just me being humorous or trying to make light of a situation, because I do love to laugh, and I do find comedy in all forms of this fucked up world that we live in. I have to laugh at everything. Like from dead babies to dead puppies to incest to priests. I can find something really hilarious in everything. I think it's from all the dark comedy I grew up watching and the shows and stuff that eventually birthed into Adult Swim. Adult Swim is amazing. Like, for those people who grew up watching cartoons and continue to watch cartoons throughout their adulthood, those motherfuckers knows what's up. Now, people like, kind of like my dad and some other adults I know my age or even older, who think that if you watch cartoons, you're still immature. Well, hell yeah, I'm a fucking Toys R Us kid, man. I don't want to fucking grow up, because when you grow up, you got responsibilities. When you have responsibilities, you got to work your ass off. When you have to work your ass off, you're stuck in that fucking 6th house, and then eventually, you make it to the 7th, and then you're in the 8th, and then that's about as far as you go. Then you die in the 8th house, because you don't, you just don't know how to understand that life is everything, ups and downs, and knowing when to tap into your childhood, and knowing when you need to be responsible, and knowing when, things in your life are calling for certain things for you to do in your life. So I try not to take anything serious. I might take it serious in that moment, don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm in one of those moods and it's something that I find too serious, it's not funny at that moment. But then later on, you know, I'll laugh about it. But seriously, we need to learn how to laugh a lot more in our love and a lot more in our lives. And so, anyways, back to the subject at hand. So right now, I'm actually working on a picture video for my YouTube channel on love, and I just want to, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I am gonna get into some subjects to where I am not gonna fucking sugarcoat it, and I am the sugarcoating fucking queen for real. I could straight sugarcoat the whole reason why we have serial killers, to where people might even start to think that I think serial killers are a good part of our society and that they are needed. I mean, and I don't think that, but that's how good I can at sugarcoating shit. You know, but I've been learning lately that sometimes I can't sugarcoat it. Sometimes I do have to give it to it raw. Sometimes I do have to serve that fucking shit just right there while it's hot. You know, and the reason why I have always sugarcoated stuff is because people don't know how to listen. They don't know how to listen to where it's not affecting themselves. Like, they don't know how to just take in something without having to try on every single fucking clothes in the closet and then going home with that fucking closet, to where they were just over visiting somebody's fucking house. Like, people take shit too fucking seriously. Like, they totally want to throw themselves into everything that has nothing to fucking do with them. You know, so like whenever somebody is voicing an opinion or is talking shit or something like that, the first thing somebody wants to do is jump in their fucking feelings and take that shit for a ride. No, you got to be able to learn how to listen without feeling offended, without feeling that it has something to do with you. Even if it does or doesn't have anything to do with you, you need to learn how to listen. You know, and that's called active listening skills. It's called, you know, being able to listen to somebody in a way to where you're not listening to respond, you're not listening to pick apart, you're not listening to flex your type of mental authority. You're actually listening so that way you can listen to another person to understand them from their realm of reality, from their perception, from their personal concepts or their personal style of communication. So, and the reason why I love Geminis is because they are able to not only listen, but they can also communicate in that same exact style that doesn't have no correlation to emotion, that has no correlation to making about themselves. Like, they can make like a situation when they're telling an analogy of something about themselves, but really they can give a fuck. Because most of the information that they get and most of the information that they are handling and that they are sharing through their communication and sharing through that third house is a lot more profound than what they get fucking credit for. Geminis and that whole Mercury and all of that is a type of style of communication that we all need to learn how to like do. We all need to learn how to activate that Gemini in our charts to where it's not wrapped up in all kinds of emotions and bullshit, because Gemini is a very non-emotional style. They can go through life without giving a fuck about their emotions, your emotions, anybody's fucking emotions, because they are the, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's that's what it boils down to. That whole term is Gemini. So my love and hate for Gemini is always boils down to my love for Gemini. I mean, that's my Equimini. I mean, that is an air member to my personal air family, you know. So I have a lot of respect for Geminis, and most of my respect for them is because of their style of communication, because I can just fucking laugh. I for real, piss myself laughing listening to half the shit that comes out of their fucking mouth, you know, and I love that. Like, if you can make me laugh like that, I'll love you forever. Even if I hate your ass, I'll still love you forever. So I'm working on editing and just designing some stuff, because like with my podcast system, which is really starting to irritate the shit out of me, it's supposed to not only post to like my Facebook and my YouTube, but it's supposed to post to other networks to where I don't have to individually post, and so then I don't have to do the designing and all of that. But then I was just having some issues yesterday when I kept having to repost. I don't know if there was a glitch in the system or whatever, so but it's okay. It's giving me a lot of time to think and to reflect while I'm designing. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a little break and I'm gonna just do a little short segment. But I don't know, I am so glad that I was able to do that yesterday, to do those two episodes, talking about love and talking about knowing your own energy, because it's a lot of times it's stuff that is going on with me. I am dealing with love, and not so much with the whole loving yourself, because that's what the whole episode's about, is about loving yourself. But I am dealing with the whole concept of loving other people and their love for me, and I'm learning that even though people have that lack of self-love, and even though people don't love me on the level that I love them, that's okay. That is totally fine, you know? And sometimes we have to be able to understand and recognize those type of people in our life, because if you're very sensitive, or if you are, just a very sensitive soul, or a very and when I say sensitive, I don't mean emotional, I mean sensitive, lighthearted, type of person, you do need to surround yourself with people that truly love you unconditionally, because there's so many different levels of love, to where it's hard dealing with somebody that doesn't love you as much as you love them. And that's a lot of problems with relationships. People are in relationships with somebody that they love them more than they love themselves, or they love the thought of the other person more than themselves. And I'm sorry, but you have to love yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You got to love and cry and laugh and create and build with yourself. And if you have never done that, you're going to struggle with love. You're going to struggle. You're going to get into all those fucked up relationships. You're going to meet all those fucked up people. You're going to surround yourself with people who say they love you, but they don't love you. Because when you love yourself, then you understand the true meaning and the true concept of self-love. And when you understand self-love, then you understand the love of somebody else. Then you understand being able to love somebody else. And then you also will start to understand when something's showing you, hey, this person doesn't fucking love you. Because there's so much rooted into the word love. Loyalty, respect, honor, morals, values, knowledge, wisdom, trust. I mean, love is like a root. It is a mula nakshatra to so much in this life, and to so much that root chakra. I mean, it's a grounding for so much, and like the whole love movement, I love it. We've got all these other little sub movements and stuff going on, and I like learning about all the other ones, but I'm not one to really jump on a bandwagon of anything. I like to, I don't know, maybe I might walk next to it and kind of play with the whole concept and the idea of it, and and kind of, toy around with a little bit, like when I watch stuff on YouTube and then I go and talk to Shane about it, and Shane always gives me like this look of like he's not sure if I'm like believing it or something, and it's like, and I have to let him know it's like I'm just playing around with the concept. You kind of got to get into that mode to kind of, got to get into that whole character a little bit, like mentally, but like to where you're doing it mentally to kind of understand it from that person's perspective. Just like with crazy people, sometimes you got to think about how they think about things, and you'll kind of start to see like a correlation. But that the subject of love, though, it's what's going on right now. I mean, it's screaming at us. I mean, it is screaming at us at such a level and at an intensity, to where those who aren't hearing it are so deep in their sleep, to where it's just going to have to manifest even harder and even stronger to be able to penetrate and to reach them, to get them to understand that there is more to love than love. Love is eternal. Love is full of abundance. Love is, it's so much, and we give it so little credit, and we fucking just abuse that word and rape it and destroy it and shred it and piece it back together and like, here's some love, It's like, no, fuck you, keep your love. With that little dried up, whatever the fuck paper that is. That's basically what's going on with love. And people are struggling in their relationships. And when I say struggling in their relationships, I mean like in their heads, they have all this shit going on, and they don't know how they don't know how to handle it. With Jupiter being in Libra, it's like, and a lot of times it's not so much the actual relationship, but it's like themselves and how they're reflecting or viewing things that could either cause problems with relationships, or they're unsure of their relationships. It's like it's just shaking them up, and dealing with the stuff that I do outside of my personal life, or even in my personal life and my professional life. I see that in a lot of people, that Capricorn, being across from Cancer, that, the mom and dad. Well, actually, that's not really technically. It's not the mom and dad. It's actually the mom with the devil. Because yeah, oh yeah, that would totally make sense. So that's that's a mom. That's fourth and 10th house, and then you've got Jupiter, right? Jupiter in Libra. That's first and 7th house. That is yourself in the first house, and the mirror image or your partners or the other side of you, 7th house, and then you have Sagittarius, right? You've got Saturn, the planet of death and time, and the ruler and the creator of the 3D world. He is sitting in Sagittarius. Now, everybody who really knows the Sagittarius, like knows the Sagittarius, like been around enough Sagittarius in their whole entire life to where they can actually, you know, grasp this concept. But Sagittarius is that centaur, especially when they're younger. They're always running, right? In our relationships, because they're always looking for that better half. They're always looking for that better partner. Like most Sagittariuses, I'm sure have gone through a lot of relationships because they're always trying to find that perfect one, that one that can get them to slow down and get them to not always run so free. And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes you got centaurs. To me are the gypsies. That's total gypsy energy. So when you think of gypsies, you have to think of correlating into like the zodiac, you have to think of Pisces, right? Oh my God. They at some point will have a gypsy essence to them. And a lot of times it depends on what that whole, like the Pisces, depends on like their placement in the chart and stuff like that. But, Pisces is that love everybody vibration, that's like Mother Teresa, and, that's, that kind of makes you think of like a hippie, right? And what do hippies do? They roam and do their own thing. What do gypsies do? They roam and do their own thing, and so you got the dirty hippies and the dirty gypsies. They are both co-ruled by Jupiter. So a lot of times when somebody that has a lot of Sagittarian energy in the chart, or they are Sagittarius, and depending on, a lot of times it just, everything breaks down to individual charts, that individual essence of a person. But there is always some similarities. There's a reason for the stereotypes, and there's a reason for the talking shit, because there is always a linking and stuff. But Sagittarius, they like to run free. They don't want to be held down. They don't want to listen to nobody else's rims of reality. They want nobody else poisoning their mind from their own mind, even though they're poisoning their own fucking mind, because they get too absorbed within themselves. That's that Temperance card reversed, And Pisces, they are that fish that gets lost swimming in those dark, muddy, nasty, toxic water, but they are so caught up in their own escapism, and escapism could be anything: sleeping, drinking, drugs, sex, Neptune type things, because it's co-ruled by Neptune, like TV. Even the computer is a form of Neptune, like the escapism that can be used through the computer. That's Neptune, but the computer is actually a correlation between the 11th and 3rd house. So of course, yeah, they're going to go and they're going to escape into another house, instead of dealing with their shit in their 12th. And anybody that like knows a Pisces and a Sagittarius, there's such very similar traits between the two. One being fire, one being water. But anyways, gypsies. Oh, I could do a whole segment on fucking gypsies. I've been dealing with gypsy energy my whole entire life. I have a sister who was a gypsy. When I say was, she used to travel and run, but she has a Sagittarius moon. My really good friend Julie, who I love, that is, I'm gonna make her get on here with me, and we're gonna discuss some stuff for the sexual revolution, because that bitch right there, I love her for her whole essence of herself. She's just such a beautiful creature to me. She has a Sagittarius moon, and she is so a fucking gypsy. She is that gypsy hippie mixed into one, but that bitch works hard though. She ain't lazy. That bitch will work hard, which is another reason why I love her. My mom is a Sagittarius sun, and she likes to travel, and she can do all that just being able to run free and be engulfed in who you are, and not have to worry about anything else. Ninth house gurus are the same thing. They're engulfed in who they are. That's why they're arrogant little fuckers. They're just like, that's why they carry themselves all snobby the way they are, because they're engulfed in themselves and their own being and their own fun and their own thoughts and their own wisdom and their own knowledge. And that's why I always try to stress to like Sagittarius, like, you need to share that shit. You need to teach. If you're gonna be out traveling and gathering up all this information, because that's basically what they're doing. They're gathering up all the information. They're trying to get all the extra wisdom and knowledge to store within themselves, to be able to expand and to progress either in this lifetime or some other lifetime. but they are so closed in. Like most, depending on where they're at in their Sagittarius, I guess, degrees, those ones that are closer to the Scorpio side of Sagittarius, and again, it depends on individual charts, are so fucking secretive. Especially if they've got extra Scorpio in their chart. They're very secretive about who they are. They're very secretive about their deep thoughts and their feelings and their knowledge. And then you get your other Sagittariuses, which I like, but they're a little bit more trickier to deal with. They're not secretive. They're not secretive at all. And they're so not secretive to where when they fuck you over, it's like, you should have known me, but of course, we don't listen, when people talk. We listen to respond, we listen to talk back, but if you just listen, a person will tell you completely who they are and what they're about just in how they speak and the things they speak about, But not everybody has the talent of being able to listen and to understand through listening and to connect through listening and channel through listening. And so it's always good to know your powers. It's always good to know yourself, And a lot of people out there that hate astrology, I personally think that everybody needs to learn it, at least know your chart. I mean, something. I mean, get up outside yourself, get out of your own fucking ignorance, okay? And I think it is so ignorant when somebody's like, I don't like that. Have you tried it? No. Then how do you know you like it or not? Or have you ever watched this show? No, I think it's fucking stupid. Have you ever watched it? No. Then how the fuck do you know if it's fucking stupid? Hey, have you ever played this game? No, it's a fucking retarded game. How do you know? Have you ever played it before? Well, with astrology, have you ever done astrology? Have you ever actually had your chart done by an actual professional astrologer and not some shit that you went and got online and typed in some shit and then you print it out? And yeah, it's like, you know what? You and your ignorance is the main reason why Aquariuses are fucking assholes. You're the reason why Sagittariuses are assholes. You're the reason why a lot of these higher intellectual beings are assholes, because we cannot stand dealing with ignorance. We cannot stand dealing with anybody with a closed mind. We can't stand dealing with anybody who doesn't know how to step without of themselves to gain some fucking knowledge. Gain some fucking wisdom in your life. Just a little bit. Even if it's just a little baby, a little bit ounce. Just take a little spoonful of it. And just like a lot of people out there that are highly intellectual and very smart, but then they only want to apply those smarts and that wit and everything into just certain genres or certain things without even looking outside of those subjects, are ignorant ass motherfuckers to me. Because I'm sorry, how are you going to study one thing but not look at the other things that are correlated into it? How in the fuck are you going to study Black history or Native American history or German history or any type of history on a certain race or a certain genre of people or a certain area or geographical area without studying the other things that correlate to it? Just like Africa. Not all Blacks are from Africa. If you would study more into like African culture, Africa is not where all the Black people come from. When you study into German history, which I love German history, the Germans were not all originally blue-eyed and blonde hair. They were taken over by the Aryans. So, you need to go and study a little bit on the Aryan nation. And then like with the French, I like the French. It's, okay, you love France, you say things on France and French food, but like, where did all that stuff come from? There's always a root to something else. There's always a root that links it all together, networks it together. And I'm sorry, but you are always going to be ignorant to me if you don't know how to continuously expand your knowledge, your growth, your mind, your wisdom. But I understand too, not everybody's gonna do that, and I'm not judging. I'm just talking shit and just telling you how I feel. And like whenever I do deal with people and talk to people and try to bring them onto my level, because I go to their level all the time, and I don't fucking fall asleep when I go to their level. I'm wide awake, it's just kind of like, to me, it's kind of like a repeat of repeating a fucking grade sometimes, It's like, okay, done, can I go? You don't have to grade it, it's all right. No, I'm sorry, I'm just being an asshole, I'm being an arrogant asshole. But it's like, I get taken to everybody else's level, but then whenever I try to bring them up to my level, it's kind of like carrying a dead body up the fucking stairs that had a stroke and died like a couple steps going in. It's like dealing with that drunk friend that is so fucking drunk that they're pissing on themselves and you're trying to drag them to the bathroom, or dealing with somebody who weighs like 500 fucking pounds and they fucking pass out in the middle of the street and there's a semi coming, you got to pull their big ass out the way. That's what it feels like when I deal with people trying to bring them up to my, and even just a little bit, like just meet me just a little bit my way, so then that way I understand that you understand what I'm saying, because I understand what you're saying, but you understand what I'm saying, you know, and nothing pisses me off more to where they only want to pay attention to the words coming out of my mouth if it has anything to do with their realm of reality. But then when you like, and you know, and people do this all the time, just to me, I've seen them do it to other people too, and it pisses me off, is when you talk to somebody and you're talking about things that are about their life or things that are correlated to them. Oh yeah, wide fucking open, all the fucking lights are on in the fucking house, right? But the moment you start to talk about yourself, even if in correlation, non-correlation, just generally about yourself, especially like positive things or good things, you know, because most people like to feed into the negative stuff about your life, like they want to hear the juicy negative shit. But when you start talking about positive things and and not everybody does this like in a relationship, because I know like a lot of my best friends, you know, they do listen, but like other people that I don't consider close friends or people that are acquaintances or people that I deal with, you know, you start talking about yourself, it's like you can literally see that turn off all the fucking lights and they took their ass to fucking bed. Or they turn off all the lights and they fucking just snuck out the back door. You know, and they wonder why, people wonder why I don't talk about myself a lot. You know, I don't like to share different things about myself because why? You don't really fucking care. Like, I take the time to get to know you. I know everything about you. I know your favorite color, when your birthday, you know, what you like, what you don't like, what you're into, your hobbies, your books, your out, you know, I know all that shit. I know all that shit from taking the time to bond and get to know you. But then when it comes down to me, you know, and you wonder why you give me all these, like, I get gifts and stuff like this, you know, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, thank you, I appreciate it. It's a symbolism from you. It came from you, so I appreciate that. But and it's usually something that has nothing to it's nothing that I'm even into. But so I do slap on a lot of symbolism into things in my life because it's easier, it's better and easier to look at things that way, and it's nice, you know, and then it makes certain things more not just positive, but it's just a good way for me to look at things, you know, in a symbolic way. But it's hard dealing with other people who want to stay superficial, who want to stay on the surface, you know, and everybody wonders why fucking Scorpio is the way they are. You know, they don't want to deal with that surface bullshit. They want to know who you are on a deep level, you know, and cancers will too. Some cancers, not all of them. Some of them, they want to know who you are. They want to know all about you, you know, and yeah, depends on, you know, this one is kind of a hard one because it varies, you know, but just like Gemini, you know, they want to know things about you, but but usually it has diverse different meanings to it. So like I said, I'm not gonna go on that one, you know. Aquarius is, you know, same way. Now, not all Aquariuses, because I have met some selfish ass fucking Aquariuses that can give a fuck about anybody else, you know. They can give a fuck about what, you know, anything about anybody, you know, like, and so it just, a lot of times it just depends on what's going on in your chart, you know, and people really should reevaluate their friendships. People should really evaluate their love life. People should really evaluate their family members, you know, because why make yourself fucking miserable and why have a miserable existence when you're dealing with people that, for one, don't fucking love you, for two, don't give a fuck about you, but yet you want to attach yourself to them because you love them so much. Learn to love yourself, and once you've learned to love yourself, I mean, even just love yourself more than, like, just get a little bit deeper into that self-love, you will start to understand the importance of why you should really do anything and everything in your life with some form of love and passion. You know, you should not do that if you don't like it, or, you know, or you should not get involved in that if you don't like it. But a lot of people do so much shit that they don't even like, you know, and like is like a lower retard form of walking into the door of a big entrance into love, you know, because liking things can lead to loving it, you know. And so I cannot stress enough about the whole thing about love, you know, and like with these planets, I mean, it's screaming it. You know, we got the North Node in Leo, that's self-love, that's fifth house, that's God's heart. You know, we've got the South Node in Aquarius, that's the 11th house, that is, yeah, a lot of Aquarius do love themselves. So, you know, I just love that whole axis. You know, and Aquarius is about learning to love yourself and other people, like, in a very, how can I put this? It's like love in all kinds of different dimensions. Like, it's like 20,000 different fucking dimensions broken down to 3 different dimensions, broken down to 10 more fucking dimensions, broken down into like 6 more dimensions into, you know, that one, that's a hard one for me to explain. You know, and then we have Well, we got the Sun in Leo, and then we've got Venus in Cancer, which is opposing across from Pluto. And Cancer is about that family love and about that nurturing love and about that, it's another form of all those houses are linked into love. So, and it's definitely the subject of topic everywhere right now, especially with the whole eclipse that we just had yesterday and all this, the uproar going on in the spiritual world and all this uproar going around in the religious world and all this uproar going around in people's personal lives, it's just like everybody needs to just fucking check themselves and do some soul searching for some love. I mean, I do it too. I mean, it's not something that I've mastered, it's not. It's just something that I'm a little bit more aware of and something that I understand and something that I've had to learn to do with myself years ago. So it's not something that I am speaking out of my ass on, because trust me, I've been there. I've so fucking been there, and I deal with it, not just in my personal life, but dealing with other people, teaching other people and showing other people and mentoring other people about self-love, and it's a lot, you can't, it's like kind of like, fucking social workers, how they have all these social workers that don't have fucking kids, but yet they're throwing them on these cases with people with kids. It's like, how the fuck are you going to handle somebody or handle a case or do a job dealing with children when you don't even have fucking children yourself? Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, don't even come up on my fucking porch. Don't even drive down my fucking street, And, dealing with doctors and other people in profession that have no idea how to handle other people when they haven't even experienced it themselves, So when you do reach out to somebody for advice, or you do talk to somebody for advice, if you are looking for advice, first of all, make it clear if it's for advice or if you're just venting. Okay, and that's something that I am learning the hard way, because if I'm venting, I want to vent. I don't need any of your advice, because I can work some shit out myself. I'm a smart enough person to where I can figure out my own shit. My best friend Brandy totally understands that, and she usually has to check other people on that. Like, hey, she's not looking for advice. She's just venting. Just shut up. And sometimes people do reach out for advice. I reach out for advice. I do all the time, like with my parents. My parents are the first two people I go to for advice. I will go to my parents and go to them for advice. And then if I vent, I'll go vent to somebody else, because they don't want to hear me they don't want to listen to my bullshit. So I'll vent to my friends, and then automatically my friends are like, want to give me advice. Like, no. I've already went to the two most smartest motherfuckers I know, my parents. My creators. Well, a sub form of my creators, it's like, I'm good, I've already got the whole yin yang of the advice, because, my parents are so opposite of each other. They're Aquarius and a Sagittarius. So, and like, sometimes if I need advice that I know that I can't go to them too on, I will just wait until the answer comes to me, and if I do need some quick advice, I try to evaluate, like, okay, who do I, if I do need to talk to somebody outside of myself, and a lot of times when I need advice, it's usually not anything a lot of times it's not anything personal with myself, it's usually something else, but just depends. So when you're dealing with, getting advice, you're dealing with venting, you're dealing with trying to, just get some stuff off your chest, make it clear with the person you're talking to, because we live in a world now where everybody's so caught up in their own retard fucking nation and their own fucking feelers and their own fucking judgment and all this other shit, to where you need to be able to, you just have, and Mercury's going to go retrograde, so, oh, we need all the fucking help we can get with that one, because it's going retrograde in Virgo. Oh my goodness. So, and if you're talking to a Virgo, you need to make this very clear and apparent in the beginning of the topic of discussion, or else they will fucking shred your ass apart for not being direct in your communication, because I am not direct in my communication. So therefore, when it comes to certain things, I don't talk to Virgo, because I don't know how to articulate into words that they can understand through their whole purity of fucking thought. So, and certain things I can talk to them about, because they're just cool like that, just depending on what you're talking to them about. I like dealing with Virgos that have a lot of Virgo in their charts, like triple Virgos, and people that's got like 4 or 5 planets in Virgo. I like. I can handle them. I like them. They have a different way of thinking and doing things, and their whole vibration of their essence is way more Virgo-like than somebody just with the sun or a moon in Virgo. So anyways, make it known in the beginning, like, hey, I need a vent, or hey, I need some advice, so this is kind of where we're coming at right now, to where you have to really know how to communicate in kindergarten fucking style. I swear to God, this world is just, sometimes I sit back and I laugh at it, and other times I'm just like, oh my God, and they wonder why we have all these doomsday shit going on, because we're a bunch of fucking retards. No, I'm just kidding, I'm just talking shit. So anyways, I do want to thank everybody for listening, and I'm going to get back to my editing on my love and for my YouTube channel, and then I am gonna start collecting some information on for my royalty of the zodiac, which that's gonna be fun. I get to do with a lot of Leos because it's Leo season, so I have to do it during Leo season to represent and show my love for Leo. So again, this is Electrical Essence, and I do appreciate everything. You guys have a good day.